What y'all listening to?
Limelight Highlight Podcast.
Welcome back to the show, your positive podcast, safe space, and great place for a positive outlook on life. Here we are again with another great episode for your listening pleasure. But before we jump into today's episode, I got some updates for you. This past Saturday, October 10th, The Block Gives Back was able to serve 143 platters. That marks week 29 and 3,997 meals. I told y'all last week they were pushing 4K, and they're just about there. So 3,997 meals have been served over that period of time of the 29 weeks. Grocery boxes were donated by Sharing Express, another good rescue group. The grocery boxes totaled in over 1,200 pounds of groceries. The block also gave out bread, and their provider hooked them up with over 120 loaves of bread, and they had Hers chips, Pepperidge Farm cookies, and other delicious snacks packed with the bread. And the Almo Corporation donated a new fridge, a stove, and a microwave earlier this past summer. I'm sure you can check that out if you scroll through their IG or their Facebook or even their website. They'll have all that stuff up there. And they also had volunteers this last weekend in attendance. So good things going on. I like sharing this with you so you can see where your donations are going, and that it takes a whole lot of moving pieces and a lot of people and totally a community to get this thing going. They're doing some really good work. This all started with one idea, and that idea grew to feeding thousands and helping provide good to those, indiscriminately, no matter how you show up. You could be in a Mercedes-Benz, as you heard in other previous block episodes, or you could be, somebody who's really down on their luck. They're not going to turn you away. You will be served. So come out to the block shop, get yourself a nice hot meal. And so huge shout out to the block and their many partners that make this happen week in and week out. Speaking of partners, this episode of the podcast, we're joined by one in particular, JKL Smiles. Before I give you a full introduction on her and her amazing organization, let's go over this week's unrelated fun fact. So this week's unrelated fun fact comes out of Bangladesh. As part of a campaign to the BNP-led alliance government and to demand fresh polls, the world record for the longest human chain where they hold, human chains where people hold hands, is 625.4 miles, and it consists of 5 million people in Bangladesh. That's a lot of hands, that's a lot of cooperation, and that's a lot of people. Meanwhile, we can't even get everybody to cooperate by putting on masks and socially distancing, but this is pretty impressive nonetheless. So there you go, that's your unrelated fun fact for this week. As I was saying before, we're joined by Jess from JKL Smiles, or Jess's Kind Little Smiles, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping educate the little ones in good dental hygiene and providing them with the tools to continue to practice proper dental health. Jess is a dental hygienist, and I met her during the Block to School event, and she had a nice stand with huge toothbrush. Her and her husband were there. They had another volunteer. They had education tools for the kids to learn how to properly, brush and take care of their teeth. The kids were all about it. They were all into it. She also provided, the 1,000 school bags that we managed to get for all the kids with personal dental hygiene kits. So that's huge. Every bag had a dental hygiene kit for the kids. This was a pretty educational and interesting conversation about another great Silver Linings grassroots organization that came from the pandemic. And a lot of silver linings, a lot of good news coming out, regardless of the terrible things that are going on in the world. This is why I do this. So please enjoy and help me welcome Jess to the podcast. All right, I am with Jessica. What's your last name?
Morgan,
Jessica Morgan, and you are the founder, CEO, CFO,
founder and president
of
Jess's Kind Little Smiles.
JKL Smiles.
Yep, JKL Smiles.
And you were we met at the Block event, and you supplied all 1,000 school bags full of, what do you call them, little dental hygiene kits? Or?
Yeah, exactly, dental kits that contain toothbrush, floss, and toothpaste. Sometimes we throw stickers in there, and we just threw all those in the bags. That was our second outreach that we've done with this organization.
Oh, with this specific one. Okay, cool.
Yes.
What was the first?
So we started during the pandemic. I'm a dental hygienist, and I was furloughed back in March. So I was going crazy, having nothing to do. And I pictured like a couple kids on my block being stuck inside. And my husband and I were helping deliver some meals and noticed that families were just struggling to get food on their tables. And I realized that they weren't taking care of their kids' teeth if they were struggling to get food on the tables. So I pictured giving them like a little dental kit like I do at work every day. And that's where like this small idea started and just started to grow and grow. And we've today given out over 1,800 dental kits since May.
Nice. And talking to Hakeem and Tommy and all them, they told me all the stuff that you've kind of been highlighted yourself for, and you've been on Good Morning America?
Yes. So
little name drop there.
Yeah, little name drop. So in May, my husband and I, Zach, made a goal to give out 500 dental kits to our community. I put them in a backpack, walk around our neighborhood, and after we delivered all the kits, 6ABC picked up on it and reached out to me and was like, "Are you free to do an interview tomorrow?" And it happened to me with my day off, and I was like, "I am free." He's like, "Okay, I'm going to pitch your story in the morning. I'll let you know." And I was like, "Okay." So that was the first news story that got picked up. That was a Wednesday. And then that Friday, I got a phone call from Good Morning America saying, "Hi, Jess, have you ever been on national television?" And I was like, "No, I have not."
Nice.
And that it just took off from there.
So you got a lot of exposure pretty immediately.
Immediately, yes.
So the lockdown started in March. So just give me a timeline on getting like how did you get the 500 kits together? What volunteers did you get to help with that? And I mean, or did you do it all yourself? Or?
No. I did not do it all myself. I did a lot of it behind the scenes my own because I had all the time in the world with COVID. I was home, needed something to do, so I started up one by reaching out to my friends, my family, my dental team, and pretty much told them my idea, told them that I'm really passionate about children, I'm passionate about Philadelphia, their smiles, and that first week I was hoping to raise $500, and we together raised $1,500. And that was when I knew that this was something we could keep going and do again.
What were you doing? Like, what were some of the things you did to raise the money?
I honestly just texted and like we had a Zoom call with my dental team. I was like, "Hey guys," like there's a lag, and I was like, "Hey guys, like, can I let you know like this is something I'm doing on the side? Like I know you guys are working behind the scenes, but for me, I'm gonna start doing like a community toothbrush drive." And a lot of the dentists kind of picked up on it. Was like, "Yeah, great, I want to help out with that." And
you had already been furloughed at that time.
Yes, I was furloughed.
Okay.
That was like, so I mapped it out. That was like week 5. I was like, I need to start doing something with my time. And I was cooped up in the house, and it was really hard mentally.
Yeah, for sure. We've been talking endlessly about just the negatives, and unfortunately, like we don't want to make light of the situation, but the benefits and the silver linings that COVID has brought to everything that's going on with the 1,000 backpacks, and
Yep.
then you and your grassroots kind of thing going on, and just multiple people, finding these outsources and reaches and stuff like that. How long have you been a dental hygienist?
I just hit 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
so
a lot of school too.
It's 2 years of school. Pretty much full time. You go, start in the fall, you go through summer semesters, you do it full time until you graduate, and then you go through 3 different board certifications to fully pass and get your license.
You want to be a dentist?
No.
No. Too much
No,
work?
I'm happy. I'm happy with where I'm at.
Okay. What made you want to be a dental hygienist? I always feel like that's a weird.
Yeah, like a niche.
Yeah, like I actually wanted to because I feel I'm not really grossed out by teeth, but I felt like
yeah, I feel like some people have that like OCD where they like to clean things or they get that satisfaction. For me, I've always had a positive experience at the dentist. I currently work at a pediatric office.
So you got kids.
I think that correlates with how I just admired it growing up. And when I moved to Philly, I pretty much applied to the first job and the first job I got was at a pediatric office, and I'm still there at Cobblestone Kids, and I love it, and I don't want to leave. And
is your husband also works in the dental field, or
no? He's an accountant, so he's on the accounting side of JKL Smiles.
I know. I met him on Saturday, so I was just like,
yeah. So he's like kind of the backbone. He puts the 1,000 toothbrushes in the car. We like do that together. He's like the muscle and the accounting background, so he like helps with all the books. And
now, do you get all these supplies donated, or do you go out and buy them, or like how does that all work?
When I came up with this idea, I called my dental rep from my office and was like, hey, how much would a dental bag cost? And he told me he could get them for 89 cents for toothbrush, floss, toothpaste, and the bag included. I was like,
wow.
That's when I was like, I can do this. I was like, I can just do something. I can help the community. I don't have to like raise thousands of dollars. I was like, I can do something very minimal that's still like impactful.
And those things are like they get marked up crazy. You go to just for a toothbrush, let alone
the drugstores. Yeah, they're crazy. I should price it out like how much that bag would be at the drugstore. But easily a toothbrush could be $3 or $4. Yeah. Floss can also be like $2 to $3,
depending on the quality, I guess, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna pick like the name brands, generic brands, we use good quality. We use Crest and Oral-B, so you can't get really better quality than what we're putting in these bags. When
it comes to dental health, how do you get that across kids? Because I mean, one thing kids hate more than needles is going to the dentist. You know, because they got to get fillings, because kids don't take care of their teeth the way they should, and parents, I mean, can only do so much.
So I'm very blessed because my office is very geared toward kids. They walk in, there's video games, there's TVs. You walk into my room, I have a giant screen TV. We make it all geared toward the kids. So the kids actually love to come to the dentist. And that like blew my mind, because in hygiene school, I was like, I'm never going to work with kids. One, because I thought they'd be very afraid. I thought it would be a lot of screaming,
squirming.
Crying. Yeah, and sure, you get the kids that don't like to come, but they just don't know how fun we can make it. And it's cool to see when they are afraid to come in or like a little anxious that they can do it. And they leave smiling. We give them a goodie bag and prizes, and I tell the parents, I'm like, they're going to leave happy. So like, even if today doesn't go well,
nice. Because I know a lot of times it's like a traumatic experience for them, just because they're getting stabbed in the mouth or they're bleeding. Or
and then if they have to come back for treatment with the cavities, or if they need a little crown, we use the nitrous.
Oh,
the
really?
laughing gas.
Yeah.
And
I always see that in like movies, or you always hear about it, but I don't think I've ever experienced it. I was in the Marine Corps, and while I was in basic training, they take pictures of all our dental and stuff that. And I had all my wisdom teeth in, so they put me up for the surgery to get them all removed. Didn't put me to sleep or anything. They just pulled them out. I mean, they gave me like huge
like
needles.
Local.
Yeah, but I've to this day have not ever been under anesthesia or anything like that. So
there's two different kinds. There's like the local anesthetic that will just numb that area, that sounds like
is the needle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then there is sedation, where you're fully asleep. Nitrous is that in between, where you are breathing half nitrous oxide and half oxygen through your nose. And with the kids, we have them lay back. The iPad is right above their head. So while they're breathing this in, they're just directly focusing on the TV. We could do like heart surgery while they're doing. Yeah. They also leave. They love coming in for treatment. Yeah.
That's cool. I would too. Big video games, prizes, and TVs. Yep. I was one of those weird kids who loved going to the dentist, just because I don't know. I was just like, I was one of those kids. But to have all that, I would have definitely loved going to the dentist.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some offices that don't have everything, or if you're taking your child to an adult dentist, they're not going to have all of the bells and whistles that we have. That
I remember my dentist he would pick up gloves and the gloves were